Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the Punch newspaper. And the major story here says, Tinubu presents budget Wednesday. A Federal Executive Council okays $1 billion loan. And some riders to the story. Federal government targets 18 trillion naira revenue, raises exchange rate benchmark from 700 naira to a dollar to 750 naira to a dollar. Speaker, opposition lawmakers assure Nigerians of proper budget screening to grill ministers. Right. President swears in 8 permanent secretaries, presides over a Federal Executive Council meeting. 2 other stories here. Ondo lawmakers meet today, may declare Ayedatiwa acting governor. Recall that the president had waded into the matter between the governor and the deputy governor. And Lucky Ayedatiwa, who is the deputy governor, has said that he will carry everyone along and ensure that the hatchet is buried with regards to every issues he had. And then we'll move now to this other story. Worker dies, 2 injured at Lagos construction site. Worker dies, 2 injured at Lagos construction site. A really sad story there. Shaun gets staff of office December the 16th. The court holds a removal. Shaun gets staff of office December the 16th. Court holds removal. And at the top corner, we have the story, attack on judges. Public sentiments can displace law, CJN. And the MBA also speaking, attack on judges. Public sentiments can displace law. CJN, MBA speaking. Recall that after the general election, Nigerians have said their eyes were on the judiciary. So many reactions with regards to the sack of opposition governors in recent times by the appeal court, and a lot of questions have trailed the role of the judiciary in elections. I am best to succeed Obaseki, Shuaibu declares, he declared his intention to run for the governorship seat of the state yesterday, and that has also generated reactions. Right. Tinubu names Akinye Lure NNPC chair, reappoints Kyari as CEO. All of the details of these stories on the front page of the Punch newspaper. To the Guardian newspaper now. And the major story here says $1 trillion economy. Federal government proceeds with unambitious budget. Proposes 27.5 trillion naira next year. All right, and there is a deficit of 9 trillion naira. This is looking at the key estimates from the infograph there. Up oil production, 1.8 million barrels per day. Oil price, $77 per barrel. Exchange rate, 750 naira to a dollar. Revenue, 18 trillion naira. Economic growth, 3.76%. Inflation, 21.4%. And the 27.5 trillion naira budget translates to a per capita as a citizen spending plan of 127,000 naira or $150. You would want to read more about this, just pick up the Guardian newspaper. 2 other stories on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. UBEC bemoans shortage of teachers, 100 billion naira yearly funding. Now, despite warning, protests in Kanu over Court of Appeal ruling. CJN seeks amendment for termination of most cases at appeal court. LCCI flees inconsistencies in federal government's $1 trillion economy vision. MTEF. The untreated relics of hashtag NSAS protests 3 years after. That's an editorial you might want to read. Now, those are some of the stories you find in the pages of a Guardian newspaper. We move now to the front page of the Blueprint, and the major story here says, as Tinubu addresses National Assembly Wednesday, Federal Executive Council okays IFDB's $1 billion support loan for 27.5 trillion naira 2024 budget. Estimates FEC's exchange rate at 750 naira to a dollar. Crude oil, 77.96 dollars per barrel. Federal government approves 3.23 billion naira explosive narcotic detection scanners for 5 airports. And then another story here says Tinubu retains Gary NNPCL GCEO, names Ogbodo, others non-EDs. Now the set to crash maize rice prices. CJ and the judges don't succumb to mob mentality in deciding cases. Supreme Court handles 1,271 cases in 10 months, delivers judgment, 251 judgments. And at the top corner, Appeal Court sacks Kaduna Speaker, others rerun in 5 polling units. Kanu, 18 years after Grand Cadi constitutes committee to review amputation sentence. Undu, man to die by hanging for hacking neighbor to death. A sad one there. All right, on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. FEC, that's the Federal Executive Council, pegs is $77.96 crude benchmark, 750 naira to a dollar exchange rate for 2024 appropriation bill. Approves $1 billion support loan from the African Development Bank. Tinubu to present budget to National Assembly today. Well, other papers are reporting Wednesday, but the Nigerian News is saying today. Now, another story here says Aviation Minister blames poor regulatory oversight for frequent air accidents, meets with heads of agencies. Edo 2024, I have been pressed but not crushed, persecuted but not abandoned. Edo Deputy Governor Shuaibu says when he declared his interest to run for the seat of the governorship of the state, governor of the state. Now, PDP heads to Supreme Court to challenge Sanwo-Olu's victory, and despite police ban, protest rocks Kanu over appeal court judgment. Of the First News newspaper. The major story here says Undo Tinubu's intervention suffers setback as plot to declare Ayedatiwa acting governor thickens. State Assembly may declare Deputy Governor acting governor today. Akeredolu's camp moves to frustrate plan. And President Tinubu to present 2024 budget Wednesday at National Assembly is saying that judiciary won't replace law with mob emotion, says CJN. Governor Abiodun approves constituency projects for 236 councillors. 19 years after, my varsity not yet standing, Atiku laments. I am disappointed in myself. Biden apologizes over Gaza war. Reps probe mismanagement of COVID-19 funds, flight diversion, NCAA sanctions United Air. Tinubu reappoints Mele Kyari as NNPCL GCEO. And how to avoid financial losses, ATM fraud, EFCC is saying. And Edo 2024 Guber race, nobody can stop my ambition, says Shuaibu. He makes formal declaration. He did that yesterday.
We move to the Nation newspaper. He says, Akeredolu Ayedatiwa peace agreement heads for collapse. Shuaibu, I'm intimidated. My allocation seized. Supreme Court will get full 21 justices, Ariwala pledges. We did 90-kilometer roads in 1 year, says Osun government. National Assembly under pressure over 2024 budget. President to present 27.5 trillion naira appropriation bill tomorrow. That's what the Nation newspaper is saying. We move to this Nigeria. CJN seeks amendments to stop some cases from getting to Supreme Court. Apex Court handled 1,271 cases, delivered 251 judgments in 10 months. Tax judges on fairness, 58 lawyers become SAN. Federal government raises 2024 budget to 27.5 trillion naira. President presents appropriation to National Assembly tomorrow. Tinubu appoints Akinyelure Mite into NNPCL board. Kyari retains GCO position. Appeal court verdict. Residents protest in Kano as police arraign 7 protesters. That's in this Nigerian newspaper today. We move to Daily Trust. We will never be overwhelmed by mob, says CJN. Judges must avoid embarrassing judiciary, says Yadudu. Courts deciding election winners bad for polity, says PDP elders. States, local governments cry for development despite sharing 8.8 trillion naira in 2 years. Delta, Rivers, Akwa Ibom gets a lion's share. CSO's leaders' failure seek accountability. Fund includes salaries, overheads, and others. Amount enough to build 16,000 hospitals, 4,000-kilometer roads. That's in the Daily Trust this morning. The Daily Independent says revealed how dispatch error landed Abuja-bound flight in Asaba. NCAA suspends wet-leased aircraft in United Nigeria. Aviation regulators action in order, says experts. Federal government raises 2024 budget to 27.5 trillion naira, presents it to National Assembly tomorrow. Reviews exchange rates to 715 naira to a dollar. Pegs oil benchmark at $77. Looks to get budget support loan of $1 billion from AFDB to increase tax revenue to GDP ratio to 18%. Business Day says here, Jagba wave empties construction sites. NNPC moves again to break petrol import jinx. Subsidy removal pushes transport industry into recession. Manufacturers' credit sales jump amid weak demand. Nigeria stands aloof as the world runs to curtail climate change. That's in Business Day this morning. All right, Jagba wave, Veronica. Emptying construction sites. And of course, it might not just be construction site, but other areas as well.
Oh, of course, of course. It's so many aspects of the economy is facing the impact, feeling the impact of this Jagba wave. Just yesterday on the papers, we were seeing stories about where there were concerns being raised that a number of lecturers had left the country because of this Jagba wave. They had left, and so we do not have as much to cater to the needs of the universities.
Well, the worst
and then we have
has been medical sector, yes.
Yes. So the health sector has been worst hit,
yes,
where a number of persons, doctors, nurses, who were trained with Nigeria's resources and have garnered that years of experience living the country as well. And then we are still having more persons leave the country. So it's not going to stop anytime soon. And the matter of migration, humans are nomadic in nature. It didn't just start today, but we are just feeling the huge impact right now as a country because of the number of persons that are leaving the country. When you go to various embassies right now, you see the huge number of persons, sea of heads, waiting to get either visas or trying to apply for a visa. Now, how much of that have the impact we are yet to understand,
yes,
but in the coming days and coming years, we will understand.
Yes, we will
Although
understand.
there are those who say that, there's the benefit to that because some persons might return after garnering the necessary knowledge outside the country. They might want to return back to the country to perhaps share knowledge, help others, raise others. But how much of that is left to be seen?
The downside of jackbuying is, means that word jackbuying is, for instance, as a young man, I moved to, for instance, the United States or Canada. I'm using my productive years to work for another country. So coming back, I'll be an old man. What more can I give?
Those who have grown to being productive at that time in the country, you can perhaps equip them with the knowledge you have garnered. That's what they are saying. With the knowledge you have gathered.
Definitely. But we see many people who come back to the country are coming back just to rest. No one is coming back to probably go to lecturing, maybe going to the university to train more people, or going to the medical field to train more people. Some come back as maybe consultants.
Yeah.
And so they consult for hospitals abroad and in Nigeria. Many of them do not actually go to the hospitals, to the theater themselves to actually do these things.
Few cases.
There are very few cases.
They come there.
So if we're talking about coming back to impact more knowledge on the younger generation. That might be a long time coming, because
on the long run,
because many people just want to come back and rest, because the truth is, it's not green on the other side as well. Every country have their own issues they face.
Yeah.
Many Nigerians go abroad to just make money and come back, repatriate the funds here, build houses, set up businesses and all of that. Then they come back to rest and enjoy the money they have made. So many will not just want to come back and work. As a young woman, do you want to come back to Nigeria? And
I didn't tell you I was living in...
No, I'm just asking,
okay,
in case. Or if you know people that have jackpot, do you think they will want to come back?
I know someone who actually left the country. She returned, got married here, and is still here.
They're still here?
Yes.
Yeah. Because Nigeria is actually, from everything I have heard from friends who have jackpot, Nigeria is actually a free country, a cool country to live in. Because a lot of things stifle and restrict human beings wherever they
outside
go
the country.
to,
Of course, we've seen cases of those, especially those who do not have the right documentation.
Yes, actually.
We have seen videos. We saw the one of those in the UK. Recently, the ones in Canada who were living in tents and all of that because they do not have the right documentation.
True.
And we saw how Abike Dabiri he went there to see them, to speak with them and all of that, just to give them some level of hope and all of it. But we are saying that the number of persons living in the country, those people could have been productive in
Nigeria,
yes. And I'm certain that a majority of them have very good paying jobs, but they left the country.
You must have a certain level of money to travel, to move
Absolutely.
out of this country.
But as it is, we are losing those hands. And you know what? Unfortunately, we are not having qualified persons occupy some of those positions that these people are living. That is where the challenge lies. How we will bridge that gap is left to be seen. Because we have lost a good number of persons. I know a hospital that I use. Every time I go there, I see new people. And I'm wondering, where are the old hands that I saw 2-3 months ago?
If you make inquiry, you realize a lot of them have jackpot too.
Yes.
They've left the country for greener pastures. Because you hear people say, if you're a doctor here, you're sought after there. If you're a nurse here. So you see people, I have seen journalists who have left this country to go to the US, to go to Canada and become nurses.
Of course.
Yeah.
People change their profession so they can, get into the system and make better money.
Because you make better money when you're in the medical field. So they go there to just get the money, do whatever they need to do, and live the life they want to live.
But I think that beyond that, we are seeing even companies leave the country as well. Recently, a prominent organization left the country, and we are seeing the attendant impact on the cost of medication in recent times, and Nigerians have been raising concerns with regards to that. But we see that there's some steps the government is taking to addressing that matter to cushion the effect of these companies that are leaving the country.
The funny thing is, as people are planning to leave Nigeria, a lot more people are coming into the country.
You know what? One question that someone asked me: we see foreigners still coming into the country.
So it means there's something they're looking at here
that
we're not seeing.
That's a big question. We'll leave it here now.